Okay, it's 5:15. It's March 2nd, 2026, and we're at the Committee of the Whole meeting. In compliance with the Open Meetings Act, a current copy of the act is available at this meeting. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Alarcon.
Here.
Barr.
Here.
Hemer.
Here.
Jablonski.
Here.
Lopez.
Here.
Polinsky. Roth.
Here.
Schilling. Council President Hemer, the roll has been called.
Thank you. Our first and only item on the agenda tonight is presentation by the Platte County Fair Foundation. Who may we have speak?
Might be all of us. I think you all were emailed kind of the layout. There's a bigger poster board you can see. So I'm Jeff Johnson. This is Dennis Grennan. Appreciate you listening to our story. First want to thank for the 840 funds. That's what really got us started. Probably about a year ago, we got a $25,000 loan from the city. At the same time, we applied for a grant from the Visitors Bureau. We got $25,000 from the Visitors Bureau. The Platte County Ag Society then donated $25,000 to the foundation because we haven't done anything to raise money yet, except those three things. With that, then we hired Stone Planning out of Chicago to do a feasibility study. So about a year ago in February, he spent time, and we probably met with 10 or 12 different special interest groups. We went with the city, with the county, Extension, 4-H, to say, okay, what do we want to do with these fairgrounds? If you've been to the fairgrounds, they probably need some repair. There's some deferred maintenance out there, and it's probably time that it gets improved. And that's why we formed the foundation. It's a 501c3, so we can get donations that people might be able to get tax deductions from. So he spent probably 4 days with us here in Columbus interviewing people. He then went back and then started his process of looking at other fairgrounds he's worked on. He worked on the Astro project down at Papillion, I believe, and some other projects that he's worked on. He had a 10-step plan that he's going to write us the report, and I think I gave you the report, full report. And with that, we got to item number 7, and we got stopped because it was the feasibility study, economic impact of the area. So we then, with costs, so then we had to employ HDR out of Omaha. They came out at the fair and did a complete analysis of the fairgrounds. Looked at from top to bottom, looked at the buildings, etc. We then charged them with developing 2 site plans for us. One was move it off site, another location. Other one was to do it on the existing fairgrounds. There's about 97 acres there. They then gave us 2 plans. Then our board, of which we have three sitting back there. Yeah, 3 sitting board members. We have 9 total board members, 3 permanent seats from the Ag Society, 6 others that are elected. We then studied these plans and determined the best use of for the fair would to be build it on site. That's what you see is what we came up with as the new plan. And with that, I'll just kind of go over a little of it. What we're thinking about doing is we're going to go with naming rights and try to name the fairgrounds. We're going to try to name the large buildings, the event center, the multi-purpose livestock building, the show arena. The amphitheater is a 5,000-seat amphitheater. We would be moving and relocating the, quote, campgrounds. If you know, the campgrounds are laying along 12th Avenue. I think it's 10th Avenue. 10th? I can't read that. I think 10th Avenue. Yeah. We're moving it into the center of the property. That entire development then, the renovated horse barn, the horse barn is essentially about the only thing that would stay on the ground. Everything else would be leveled. When that's all done, we have about 37 acres left, I think, plus or minus, that we could do future development with. You know, we know it sits in the county, and we know that, but what we're asking for is dispel any rumors that you guys may have heard about the fairgrounds, what we're gonna do, who owns it, et cetera. It's owned by the Platte County Fair Foundation. It's a 501c3. Our only function of that foundation is to support the Platte County Ag Society and the fair. That's our only function. There's nothing else that we're gonna do with it. So that's our function. So I'm just gonna, you know, in the full study, if you look at the economics of it, we think it's gonna take maybe 5 or 6 years to build this if we can raise the money to build. But when you get to year 6 and you start looking in the full presentation, we're estimating out of the 365 days that we can use, there'll be 244 events out there, that we estimate that'll be 149,000 people will go through the fairgrounds in a year. It'll generate 6,310 nights of rooming. This isn't counting everything that's going to be here when they're constructing it, the 250 people that will be working on construction, the number of nights they'll stay, what they'll spend in the city and the county. And then we always want to look at taxes. The city over this in a year would generate about 124,000 in taxes, we estimate. The county would get 76,000 in lodging taxes, and the state would get about 234,000 in lodging and taxes. We really feel that doing the fairgrounds and making this fairgrounds what it can be, which you can see down there is a little better rendition, is transformational for Platte County and for the city of Columbus. It's what was done in 1940 when people put the fairgrounds together, and now it's time that we step forward to put a new fairgrounds together. We're really excited about this. Obviously, we haven't started fundraising. We're going to have kind of the kickoff will be at the businessmen's breakfast at the fair, at the chamber, but between now and then we'll be meeting with potential donors. We've contracted with a firm out of Omaha that's going to help us apply for grants, to try to get grants, and we'll see if we can get this done. My partner in crime here, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Maybe just a couple things. You know, the whole process that Jeff described, working with Stone, kind of took us from the initial question of can we build it on the current grounds, or do we have to move to a new site in order to get the facilities that we really want to put on the site to have a really, not a good fair, but we need to have events year-round, because that's the only way this cash flows, is you got to have events going on year-round. So you got to have facilities to support those events. So we worked with Stone. We looked at actually three other fairgrounds in particular, Kearney, McCook, and then another one in Ohio, similar sized communities, to see what kind of facilities they had. People from our board particularly have been to those facilities and have seen them. So we kind of used that as our go-by and came up with the size of the event center that we want to have to support gatherings up to 1,000 people. The livestock arena, which really needs to be first class to get those first class events. I'm learning as we go here about the horse shows and the livestock events that can come if you have a first class event, and what people expect when they get there, including campgrounds and including the right kind of dirt on the floor. So, you know, it takes all of that combined. So working with Stone, that's when we came up with this initial layout, and then with HDR to say, will it fit with where we're at? And we think we've got a really pretty good layout as far as people coming into the fair or coming in for an event other than the fair, having places to park, the outdoors events, the amphitheater and so forth, and how that all fits together. So really excited about the initial layout. It's fairly conceptual at this point. We are going to use some of the buildings that are out there. Horseborn, I guess it's called. It's on the south side of the newer facility. A little renovation, we can use that. Some of the other buildings that we can use. The grandstand, no, it goes away, and the associated building with the grandstand, it just unfortunately is going to take too much to redo it, and it doesn't fit with our needs anymore. So a lot of things do get torn down. That's figured into the initial cost that you can see in the summary. So pretty excited about fitting it here. We did get the analysis that looked at the alternative site, and by the time you pay for infrastructure, roads, water, sewer, all that sort of stuff, electricity, it adds about $15 to $20 million to what we can build. We think we can do it right here. And we like this location better anyway. It's closer to other facilities and what people will expect when they come to Platte County and Columbus and want to spend the night. So, yeah, we're really excited about what it's starting to look like. Once you kind of see it, you go, yeah, this fits pretty well. It's going to take a lot of work, but I think we can get it done. So,
The amphitheater hold about 5,000 people, and the event center 1,000, maybe up to 1,500, depending on how it's configured. So there's a lot of opportunity to put a lot of people through this new fairgrounds. We do need the fairgrounds. We need the fairgrounds for the 2,000 plus kids that are in 4-H and that use the fairgrounds and the fair every year. There's and the extension service, a lot of kids, and as we all know, youth are the future of the community. We want to be able to provide them a great experience, and hopefully they remember to come back to Columbus and start their families and live here and grow. Great analysis. Columbus is a fast-growing community. It's young. We're growing faster than the entire state. Platte County's growing faster than the entire state. So there's just a lot of positive things. It's just a question of whether we can do it or not. So we're not asking for any financial support yet, but we just want to dispel any rumors of what you have heard out there, because it's been all over the board. So we'll take any questions you have, and I mean, we told you exactly what it is, but it'd be interesting to know if you've heard rumors, and we can dispel them.
Just a question. Obviously, parking, you're talking about a $5,000 seat amphitheater and 1,000 plus. What happens when you have your midway during the fair? Where does all that parking go?
It goes to the number 3, to the resurfaced parking area. We also then have the ability on number 10 that we can park cars out there if we so need to. There'll be 2 entrances, actually 3 entrances into this property, and we'd have from 3rd Avenue, we have an entrance, and we could put potential on numbers on 10 and 10, if it's not real wet, because that's a little wet area, we could park cars there.
Okay, kind of like you were doing now.
Yep.
Okay. Because when you moved the campground over, that was the old parking spot, wasn't it? Or is that actually the racetrack?
There's just a lot of potential. There's a lot of ground to park cars on out here.
Okay.
The resurfaced gravel parking area would be concreted.
Okay.
And for events other than the fair, the number 1 area, the concrete parking area, that's still there. So it is used for the carnival during the fair. We're still planning to set it up there.
In number 1?
Yes.
We've had questions about construction. You know, what's going to happen when we start construction and start tearing things down? If we get to that point, where's the fair going to go? Where are things going to go? I think the Cattlemen's proved that you can have a great event in tents, and so we could move to the east and put up tents. So we've tried to think through a lot of alternatives, but until we really get going, it's hard to know what it's all going to turn out to be.
That was going to be my question, how you guys transitioned through everything over the 6 years through construction and everything, but.
So we have a phasing plan of what we'd build first. First, it'd be fix the parking lots. Second would be the new event exhibition hall. Third would be to tear down the existing grandstand and put up the new multi-livestock. The amphitheater would be also right away one of the first things we do to get, because that would be moved. And the amphitheater could be expanded where the food trucks are, the bars and that. We could maybe expand to 6,000 or 7,000 people. But right now, it's I guess sized is the right word,
Yep.
5,000 people.
Yep.
That's a lot of people.
And we know phasing this project is important because funding is probably going to be in phases. So we're going to have to match that as we get more detail there. But also around, we're going to have events as we go forward, particularly the fair. So we're thinking about that. We don't have all those details in place yet, but we know we do eventually.
And the grandstand won't be torn down until we have the event center built, because there's still going to be events planned out there, and we're not going to tell somebody, well, you can't have your wedding, can't host your event there, because we're tearing it down. No, we'll build that first and then tear it down. So there'll always be a place to have events. I mean, I think that's the key to making this work.
The amphitheater, as it's envisioned, is it an open-air amphitheater or enclosed? Is it conditioned?
The stage would, I don't seen the final thing on the stage. The stage would be concrete elevated so people can see. It might have a top over it for protection, but everything else is going to be open.
Yeah. That was one of the areas as we looked at the other fairgrounds and really other areas that have been built here in Nebraska, outdoor theaters with standing and then bring lawn chairs in, rather than build a bunch of permanent bleachers. Just really don't seem to work anymore. So it is outdoor and it's mostly open except for the stage, as Jeff mentioned. And we laid it out with enough area that based on, design standards, you can get about 5,000 people in there.
So it'd be usable 50% of the year, 60% of the year?
Yeah, depending on the weather. And we did, again, working with our design people, the location of that amphitheater is so you have the sun to your back. Sounds like kind of a small detail, but it's kind of a big deal when you start putting on shows. Have the sun behind the stage so the entertainers aren't looking into the sun. It's not too big of a problem in our current location with the tall grandstand, but it's a little bit. So anyway, we did get into that level of detail when we were talking about it. So.
Just a question for clarity. You've covered it, you've said it, but people never hear what you say, so I'm going to ask you to say it again. This is not a city project.
No, this is strictly Platte County Fair Foundation project.
This is not city ground.
It's in the county, it is not city ground.
You are not asking for any money today.
We're not asking for any money today.
We can like the concept, but that's all it is right now, is a concept.
It's a concept, but I think more importantly, what we're asking for is you get around to the various people that you talk to, your spheres of influence, for a lack of something, and they start jabbering, whether it be a coffee group or a pickle group, whomever, bowling, whatever you do. You can tell them the truth. And the truth is, that's what we just said is the truth. We're very transparent. We told everybody the same. Everybody has the same questions. Well, we heard it. We've heard everything. No, it's.
Well, I think everybody up here probably has heard a rumor or two. So I mean, it's good. It's very good to have it out and have it there. And I'm being a little sarcastic, but in our world today, you can't get these questions answered enough.
That's a very valid point, Mr. Mayor, because we have talked about, we put together a communications plan, which we just listed out all the different groups we want to get in front of and do this very same presentation, same information, and we went to the county supervisors last week, we're here this week, and we're going to the chamber and just different groups that we've laid out. A lot of them are involved with the fair. We want those folks involved. and so they know what's being thought about and planned, provide chances for input. We don't have all the answers at this point, so we got a lot of communications to do just to make sure people are all on the same page.
Your improved stormwater, is that open ditch? Will that be open
I
ditch?
couldn't hear you, Rich.
Excuse me. The improved stormwater, is that open ditch?
Don't know at this point. We wanted to identify it so everybody knows that's there right now. Right now, it's an open ditch.
Okay.
Depending on the parking lot and if something else is done on the other side of the parking lot, it could be underground. Part of it's underground coming from the west, but right now, it's open ditch.
And it's probably, proportionality is maybe a little big that's blue than what it is. If you remember when we had all that rain last summer and where those campers were along the avenue, there was a lot of water standing. And I think what Tyler has told us, who's on the ag board, the storm drains were covered up. So they found the storm drains, were able to take the debris off, it drained it. But managing the water in this location is something we have to pay very attention to, especially to the east. That's all in a floodplain. I think it's in a floodplain.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The only thing that isn't is the loop substation they built. That's really elevated. But the others, if that flooded, then I think a lot of Columbus is probably underwater.
It's the new water park. Add it to the schematic.
I'll make a note.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to ask us?
Is the new event center exhibition hall sufficiently big to hold an ice rink?
We haven't even talked about the ice
I
rink.
don't know. It's about 44,000 square feet, so with the present layout, I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay.
Don't know.
Any other
I'll
questions?
add about $6 million to our project. Because then we'd have to figure out how to cover the ice to have an event. Will it be cold for the people there? How do you do that? Do you drain it and then refill it with water with the piping? And we would probably opt to, maybe there's better places for an indoor skating rink. But we don't know. If somebody wants to donate the money and do it, we'll name it the Brent Roth skating rink.
Yeah, Brent Roth.
There we go.
There you go. Right. Right next to the Jim Bulkley Water Park. Yeah, that works good. Okay.
Anything else?
Any other questions from council members?
So go over your timetable again. You're talking about really bringing it out at the businessman, the breakfast, which is in first week of July, Fair Week. So between now and then is just have more meetings similar to this to get it in front of the general public and then really
And we
kick
have-
it in gear this summer?
And we're gonna have, we'll probably meet with, we've identified maybe 5 to 10 potential naming rights donors that we'll try to get in front of and talk to. Because it would be great at the fair to announce, that we have raised X amount of money and we're kind of on our way. But it's, there's gonna have to be we need some big checks written right out of the gate. To make a project work, you need, what I always call the bell cow to kind of lead the way. We can't make it, as I've told every group, we can't make it selling $500 bricks. We'll need significant, that'll come later in our process.
Right. As far as actually doing something, the next big piece of it is, your detailed engineering. You got to get into to do your site engineering or your storm drainage and just on and on and on. So that's a pretty good expenditure. So we got to have some money in the bank before we can do that. So yeah, we got communications to do here in the next few months. We got our fundraising folks we got to get to work on, and if we can get that initial funding in place, then I think we're ready to start actually serious engineering on what it's gonna take to get this built, refine your cost and all that sort of thing, so you got a real project you can go forward with.
And you would seriously see no interruption with this year, the 26th county fair. You know, it could be something you're addressing come 27 or,
Yeah.
but for anybody with questions, there's,
Right.
nothing different this year on what's going on in the past.
And it might be even nothing for 27.
Sure,
Because we
sure.
don't know how long the engineering
Yeah.
is going to take to engineer this project. Because it's a large project. It's not just, there's just a lot, we don't know what it's going to find when we start digging up out there.
Oh, boy.
There'll be something we won't like.
Yeah.
Once we put that in the ground. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure we'll find it.
Certainly, as you get into your detailed engineering, part of that's your schedule. And not only your getting it built, but then how are you going to phase it from there on? So hopefully in the next couple of years, we got things kind of figured out here.
Well, it's a great vision. Appreciate your efforts and your time you put in it so far and bringing it to us to let us be a part of what you need to help move it forward.
Okay. I appreciate, because you guys got it started with that 840. That was, if we wouldn't have got that, we probably, wouldn't be doing this, because we'd had to find other funding sources. So very appreciative of that.
Well, and Jeff, just in case somebody happens to be listening to this or will listen to it later on, LB 840, which you're referring to, is economic development money that our half-cent sales tax, or our 1-cent sales tax helps fund, and this was deemed to be an economic development potential that qualified for that. So, just a clarification for any general public that might say, well, what are you talking about? But anyway.
And I've gotten a lot of phone calls about selling this property. And I've actually been yelled at on the phone why we won't sell it. And I tell them the same thing. We're not doing anything with this property until that fairground is built out completely. And no one believes me. They don't know what a hard-headed person I am, but I'm telling the truth. It'd be foolish for us to sell any of that property until we get this fairgrounds built. Thank you all
Any
for
other further
listening.
questions? Thank you, gentlemen.
Good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.